Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, March 29, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Respect us and we will respect you, PSC exec to TT private sector. With construction boom, government working to prevent shortage of building materials. Guyanese tennis coach stabbed to death in New York. UG launches new Masters in Strategic Development Studies. And COVID, waning protection mutations will influence achieving herd immunity, says Health Minister. Now for the news in detail. Long-standing Private Sector Commission Executive Member Ramesh Dooku on Tuesday had some firm words for the Trinidad and Tobago private sector about the need for equity in their business and trade dealings with Guyana. Gerald Bryan has our lead story tonight.
The Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, GMSA, had their annual luncheon on Tuesday. During the proceedings, PSC executive Ramesh Dooku got on stage and proceeded to talk about local content and trade barriers. In comments directed to members of the Trinidad private sector who were present, Dooku also spoke of the various trade barriers in place by Trinidad which serve to block Guyanese exports to that market.
We will respect Trinidad's private sector more when you advocate some of the things that bothers us, like your illegal honey legislation, which is on the books and going on for years and years and years. And every time at quoted, it's back on the agenda. I'm sure you've seen the quoted agenda. It's back on the agenda. And your minister will come and say, yes, we're looking at it, and it's going on for 25 years. So Ramesh, you need to push your minister like we are going to push our minister just now with your questions. When the Trinidad private sector recognize the trade barriers that are put up by Trinidad for our trying to export to Trinidad, we will respect you more. We will embrace you tighter than we're doing right now.
Dooku also urged that the local content secretariat be imbued with the power to investigate companies not in compliance with the law. He referenced various practices he said are used by foreign businesses to skirt Guyana's local content provisions.
And already we're seeing foreign companies making to their staff members shareholders in the company and doing other things, other manipulative things to qualify for the local content register.
In recent weeks, there has been much talk over trade relations between Guyana and Trinidad. This talk has particularly been in the context of quoted and also Guyana's local content laws, which certain quarters in Trinidad have taken umbrage with. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
With the construction boom and the increased demand for building materials, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Barrett on Tuesday made it clear that the government is working overtime to prevent shortages on the local market. Here is Gerald Bryan again with the details.
Natural Resources Minister Vikram Barrett was the keynote speaker during the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association luncheon on Tuesday. During his presentation, Barrett spoke of shortages and the way the government is striving to mitigate that. Touching on the high cost of living, Minister Barrett also spoke of the threat of shortages in building materials.
For example, the boom in infrastructure, the boom in construction, has resulted in higher demands for local building materials. So it requires us to be working, the GGMC and the GFC, to be working overtime to ensure that we don't have shortages in materials, which obviously will carry up costs. You would have noticed over the last year and a half, we probably issue over 10, I think 12 new quarry licenses. Because when we took over government in August 2020, we were producing 600,000 tons of aggregate stones, while the demand on the local market was 850,000 tons. So it means that in 2020, 2019, 2018, we were importing over 200,000 tons of aggregate or stone from Suriname and other countries.
Nor is the threat of shortages restricted to products. There is also the threat of human resource shortages in certain key fields. According to Barrett, work is on the way to get a batch of at least a dozen youths trained as goldsmiths. Similarly, Barrett noted that the potential shortage of joiners is another problem being dealt with.
If we don't start training young people to get into that sector or that area, it means that we will have a shortage of goldsmiths and jewelers soon in this country. So we took the initiative, GGMC, took the initiative that we are going to start a training program through the mining school at GGMC to train first batch, maybe 12 to 15 young persons drawn from around the country already. I've asked it to show from a few villages in Region 9 to maybe identify a few persons who are willing to be trained as goldsmith. Mr. Khan was mentioning the joinery trade. Soon we won't have people working in those areas because the skilled people are either migrated or they would have aged over a period of time. And the young people now, I don't think many of them are trained. I don't want to say that they're not willing to get into the sector, but they're not being encouraged as much as they should.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The Global Food Security Challenge is straightforward. By 2050, the world must feed 2 billion more people, an increase of a quarter of today's global population. The demand for food will be 56% greater than it was in 2010. Speaking on the topic of food security, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali recently underscored the importance of international partners in ensuring there is enough food globally to feed the world. Luanda McAllister has the details.
So food security, understanding what is the regional approach when we say 25 by 2025 as the immediate approach and what is the long-term agenda for the region. Understanding what are the challenges and constraints that are there that disallowed us from achieving this in the past. So in framing future policies, we'll be able to address those challenges. Understanding climate change and the effects of climate change and the consequences it can have on us. National disasters, regional disasters. One hurricane can wipe out the entire economy of the region. What are the consequences of that? How does it fit into strategic development?
President Dr. Irfan Ali delivering his keynote address at the launching of the University of Guyana's Master's Degree Program in Strategic Development Studies at the George Walcott Lecture Theatre on Monday. The head of state in his presentation highlighted the importance of issues of food security and climate change, as well as issues such as water scarcity, particularly to small island developing states.
So we cannot speak about strategic development without speaking about issues like food security, climate change, water scarcity. These are all issues that are directly related to strategic development studies.
In this regard, he emphasized the importance of partnership not only between the University of Guyana and the armed services, but also the partnership with the international community.
National defense, strategic defense, in my humble view, Professor, must provide for a seamless border. A seamless border does not mean a border that anyone can go to. But a seamless border is an imaginary line in which those on both sides of the line agree on a set of values, principles, goals that governs that line. And both sides agree that the line is not a division, but the line creates a seamless opportunity for the advancement of those objectives. Whether it is trade agreements, whether it is diplomacy, whether it is collaboration on security, that line is a defining line. That small line can create huge wars. That small line can create poverty. That small line can create injustice. That small line can create inequality. So we have to be careful how we manage that line.
According to the president, there cannot be a discriminatory attitude based on who approaches the line. He noted that enough attention has not been paid to this issue globally. Reporting for the Evening News, Luana McAllister.
Guyana is aiming to increase mutton production to capture Caricoms' US $48 million market. In this Andrew Carmichael report, we hear that arrangements have already been finalized with Barbados to have 1,000 breeding animals arrive from that country within 2 weeks and some 1,400 jobs to be created in Region 5, with the focus on women and youth as mutton production increases.
All those announcements were made by President Dr. Irfan Ali as he met with animal farmers at Unfowakt in Region 5 on Sunday. The event was the launching of the Barbados Blackbelly Sheep Project. The project aims at improving Guyana's mutton production and capturing the Caricom market. Figures from last year show that Caricom imports $48 million in mutton and lamb products. In detailing the program, the head of state pointed out that 78 farmers from West Berbice, which is Region 5, who have their own land, have already signed up for the program. The target is to be able to produce 7,000 tons of mutton by the end of 5 years. This, the president said, will need investment from the government, farmers, and foreign investors. The entire project will cost an estimated $175 million and utilize 25,000 hectares of land, most of which will be in Region 5. According to the president, by the end of 4 years, Guyana should be able to have an annual income of $24 million from mutton, and this figure should reach $30 million 1 year later and stabilize. The demand for mutton in Caricom is expected to grow, as the pre-COVID figure was 32 million tourists coming into Caricom annually. Currently, Trinidad imports $17.2 million in mutton products, Jamaica $12.6 million, the Bahamas $6.9 million, and Barbados $6.8 million.
To let you know how fast we are moving, we have already agreed with Barbados that Guyana and Barbados will do a joint project to supply the Barbados market strictly from Guyana to start with. That is a market with a value of $6.8 million United States dollars. Breeding stock for Barbados Blackbelly will be enhanced by 1,000. That flock is coming to Region 5 to support you here in Region 5 in the breeding stock. This is not gaff. This is real work, hard work in building this industry.
According to the head of state, he has gotten the buy-in of all CARICOM member states on the 20 by 2025 project, explaining the support Guyana is getting from CARICOM for not only reducing the region's import food bill, but also in supporting the local agricultural industry. President Ali pointed out that leadership of both Barbados and Guyana have already expressed their unwavering commitment to the removal of every barrier that will prevent trade between the two countries. Similar discussions are ongoing with Antigua, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and the rest of the region. The Black Belly Sheep Project is part of the One Guyana Dream, President Ali said, noting that he wants to make Region 5 the livestock capital of not only Guyana, but the entire Caribbean.
That is the vision. To do that, we have to increase our production. We have to increase our quality. We have to improve our breed. We have to use more advanced technology. We have to invest in infrastructure. And we have to work on building the partnership, all of which are ongoing. So for this specific project in Region 5, we want 20% of those farms to be led by women. At least 20% of the farms must be led by women. And 75% of the farms must have youth involvement. That is young people below the age of 35. This is part of building the future. This is part of empowerment. These are real targets and a real approach in involvement of people.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Launched in October 2021, LCDS 2030 outlines government's plans for clean energy and a suite of low-carbon development opportunities that will drive the future low-carbon development of the country. The LCDS initiative was the brainchild of former President and now Vice President Barrett and was launched in 2009 as the first low-carbon development strategy from a developing country. While the scale of vision captured 12 years ago remains valid today, a lot has happened since then. Hence, the concept of the initiative has been refashioned to reflect on the current-day context of low-carbon development. Coming up, UG launches new Masters in Strategic Development Studies and AFC to elect new leadership in June. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
John Lewis Styles introduces Eddie Domani, Vertical Sport, and Alberto Cardinale, a line of very affordable men's clothing, especially suited for the workplace. Get polos from $2,800, dress shirts from $3,995, shirt jacks from $5,500, and even jeans and dress pants from $5,995. We can supply large companies with special sizes and colors upon request. Come visit us on Waterloo Street and ask for a quotation. Umbrellas, computer bags, footwear, and women's workwear are also available. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Ready, set, go! You cannot afford to miss the excitement of GTT's Easter Supermarket Sweepstake promotion that runs now until April 11, 2022. Simply activate any data plan, pay any GTT bill via MMG, top up $1,000 or more on MMG or via any GTT retail store or agent to enter for a chance to win a supermarket sweep at a major supermarket. First prize, get a chance to sweep up $150,000 in groceries. Second prize, you can grab up to $100,000 in groceries. And for the third prize, you can sweep up to $50,000 in groceries. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to enter the GTT Supermarket Sweepstake promotion now. Promotion ends April 11, 2022. See press for more details. GTT. Together we connect to this Easter season. Together we rise. Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Combo pack of you feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more. Combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack of you feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A Guyanese man identified as 52-year-old Isan Ben of Queens, New York, was found by cops stabbed to death near West 38th Street and 7th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan around 5:20 hours on Monday. Ben was a tennis coach during his time in Guyana. He was an alumnus of St. Rose's High School. Reports are that the man was stabbed 4 times. Police sources said a video revealed the victim had been stabbed multiple times during a dispute about 30 minutes before he was found. He stumbled about a block before collapsing. Murder-accused Mahesh Rajpal was on Monday stabbed to death at the Lusignan prison, East Coast Demerara, during an argument over bed space. Reports are that at about 14:50 hours, Rajpal was stabbed to the left side of his chest during a confrontation with another murder-accused in Holding Bay 1 at the Georgetown Prison B location. The Guyana Prison Service said that investigations revealed that the suspect accused Rajpal of walking on his bed space, and an argument ensued, which led to a fight. Reports are that an alarm was raised by other inmates, resulting in the prisoner being administered first aid and being taken to the prison infirmary where he was examined by the prison doctor. He was then rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital by the Melanie Fire Station ambulance. He, however, succumbed to his injuries. The suspect has since been isolated from the other prisoners. The University of Guyana on Monday launched its master's degree course in Strategic Development Studies through its newly established Institute for Human Resilience, Strategic Security, and the Future at the George Walcott Lecture Theatre at their Turkine campus, Georgetown. Shane Marks tells us more.
The one of 6 degree programs launched over the past year is being offered by UG's newly established Institute for Human Resilience, Strategic Security, and the Future. The master's degree program, once understood at its optimum level, will challenge students to think strategically on important global issues like food security and climate change, among other issues that threaten the livelihoods of human beings. With progression, the course should equip students with critical thinking skills to devise solutions that are long-term and would benefit not just the country, but the Caribbean region and even further.
The question of safety and security is paramount. And the leadership that can produce the results of safety, stability, and a resilient nation will be the leadership that will have the greatest positive impact on this country and this planet for decades to come.
The program was designed with all the Caricoms nations in thought to create a more sustainable regional integration. In this regard, the program was urged by President Dr. Irfan Ali to be taught in a flexible manner so that students can analyze and dissect current global issues.
That a program must be flexible to analyze current events. It must not be stuck in text. It must be flexible, so if something is happening globally, the program must be flexible enough to incorporate that in the delivery. It has to stay relevant and fresh. That is what will make it interesting and different. That is what will make it strategic.
Professor of International Security at the William J. Perry Center, Dr. Louis Betancourt, said that Guyana is in a desperate state as it pertains to having a national security strategy and that this program will facilitate such a plan. Shade Marks, The Evening News.
In light of recent global developments, the United States has reaffirmed its support for Guyana in relation to the border controversy with Venezuela, whereby the Spanish-speaking nation is laying claim to the Essequibo region. Here is Shane Marks again with the details.
After a meeting between U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary DAS for Caribbean Affairs and Haiti, Barbara A. Feinstein, and Vice President Barrett Jagdeo, the United States reiterated their support for Guyana's territorial border controversy case that is currently before the International Court of Justice, ICJ.
We spoke a bit about the border too, and the assurances that have been communicated publicly by the Deputy Assistant Secretary were repeated at the meeting about the U.S. position in relation to our sovereignty, its strong support for our territorial integrity and sovereignty, and the approach we have taken at the ICJ.
Officials from the U.S. recently visited Venezuela to discuss the reopening of oil sales between the two countries due to the U.S. announcement that they would not be purchasing Russian oil because of its ongoing war with Ukraine. As such, it was agreed between Jagdeo and Feinstein that the U.S. would share information about such for future meetings, and assurance was given that Guyana's sovereignty did not feature during the last meeting.
We agreed that we will share more meetings so that share more information so that when these meetings take place between the different parties, that is possibly US and Venezuela, we are assured first of all that Guyana did not come up and our sovereignty will not be part of any such discussion, and that we will continue to share more information about what takes place in these discussions in the future.
Guyana moved to the International Court of Justice after exhausting all means of negotiation with Venezuela and the failed court offices process between the two South American neighbors. 10 United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres in January 2018 decided that the case should be settled by the ICJ after exercising the powers vested in him to decide how the controversy should be settled by the 1966 Geneva Agreement between Guyana, Venezuela and the United Kingdom. The Spanish-speaking nation is laying claim to more than two-thirds of Guyana's landmass in Essequibo and a portion of its exclusive economic zone EEZ, in which more than 9 billion barrels of oil have been discovered over the past 6 years. Shane Marks, The Evening News.
The Alliance for Change, the smaller party in the APNO-AFC coalition opposition, will be appointing a new leadership in the coming month of June, as delegates converge for its delayed national conference. Here's more.
The AFC's National Conference is the highest decision-making forum of the party, in which delegates vote for persons to fill the executive positions of leader, chairman, the deputy chairman, general secretary, and treasurer. This is in addition to the election of 10 members to represent the 10 regions of Guyana and 4 members to represent the diaspora. Members of the National Executive Committee met virtually on Sunday for their first quarterly meeting of 2022, where a priority issue was the holding of the AFC's National Conference. This had been deferred last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The members of the National Executive Committee agreed that the National Conference would be held on June 11, 2022. A hybrid system where regional delegates would gather at a central internet-ready location and join the online platform will be employed. In 2019, Kamraj Ramjitan was declared leader of the Alliance for Change, with Raphael Trotman elected chairman. Catherine Hughes returned as the party's vice chair, while David Patterson was elected general secretary. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
As the novel coronavirus mutates to different strains and vaccine protection wanes a few months after immunization, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said there could be a challenge in achieving herd immunity. Details in this Rupa Sinarain report.
Initially, authorities had described herd immunity as having 80 to 85% of the population completely vaccinated with the COVID shots. However, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony advised in Tuesday's briefing that other factors influence herd immunity. These include how the vaccine responds to different mutations of the virus, as well as waning immunity after a few months.
So it is probably going to be very difficult to achieve herd immunity based on the viral characteristics and of course the difficulty in administering vaccines to everyone who should be protected. What, however, is very important is that persons who are vaccinated would have a different clinical picture from those who are unvaccinated. So if you get sick with the virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus, your outcome is quite different if you're vaccinated versus being unvaccinated.
He outlined the scenario for unvaccinated persons after they would have contracted the virus.
Those who are unvaccinated would have a bigger challenge because we're seeing most of those people ending up in the hospital In some cases, they recover. In other cases, they get a very severe form of the infection requiring ICU care. So that has been challenging. And even after that acute phase would have been completed and they're discharged from hospital, we also noticed that unvaccinated people would get more long COVID symptoms. So that has been problematic.
Dr. Anthony is continuing calls for persons to get vaccinated and follow up with the booster shot to maintain immune protection. In fact, he emphasized that the country has adequate vaccines in stock.
We have adequate vaccines right now. We have been getting our vaccines from different sources. So you're aware of COVAX, so we normally get vaccines through COVAX because Guyana is one of the COVAX AMC country, and we have benefited from those donations. In addition to that, we have also received vaccines bilaterally. More recently, we have had a lot of countries offering to donate vaccines to us, but they had short expiry dates, and we did not accept those donations because we had adequate supplies.
Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Guyana has recorded 4 new cases of the novel coronavirus, taking the total positives detected to date to 63,239. There are 3 persons in the ICU, 6 in institutional isolation, 69 in home isolation, and 16 in institutional quarantine. Recoveries stand at 61,935, while the death toll remains at 1,226. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, March 30th at 2 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, March 30th at 15 hours 25 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Brathwaite credits team for victory over England, and Ninval sings praises for rugby at nursery launch. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanups, or construction sites. It's simple. Step 1, just pick up the phone and give us a call. Step 2, we deliver the skip bin size of your choice. Step 3, load the skip with all of your junk. And finally, Step 4, we take it all away. It's that simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there's no job that's too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218.
Ready, set, go! You cannot afford to miss the excitement of GTT's Easter Supermarket Sweepstake promotion that runs now until April 11, 2022. Simply activate any data plan, pay any GTT bill via MMG, top up $1,000 or more on MMG or via any GTT retail store or agent to enter for a chance to win a supermarket sweep at a major supermarket. First prize, get a chance to sweep up $150,000 in groceries. Second prize, you can grab up to $100,000 in groceries. And for the third prize, you can sweep up to $50,000 in groceries. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to enter the GTT Supermarket Sweepstake promotion now. Promotion ends April 11, 2022. See press for more details. GTT, together we connect to this Easter season. Together we rise.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvie's has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvie's Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.